This video will help you nail your double kicks. Hi everyone, I'm Silvana from SilvanaKicks, and today we're going to unlock 3 beginner tips to helping your double kicks. Now remember, if you like these videos, make sure to click the like button. I'm still trying to get to 200 likes. So if you look down, you don't see 200, click the like button, and if you still see 200 or more than 200, like it anyways. If I get to 200 plus, I will do a live seminar on kicking and flexibility. But let's get this tutorial started. Beginner tip number 1, take balance out of the equation. So remember that when you're practicing kicks, you really want to maintain technique. And the most important part of a double kick is your chamber technique. So take balance out of the equation. You see me do this all the time on my Instagram. You've seen me do this on my YouTube, where I hold a wall or something else for stability. So by utilizing a wall or a table or a chair, you're taking balance out of the equation and you're able to practice just the technique aspect without worrying about falling all over the place. So when you're practicing your chamber technique, utilize a wall, especially as a beginner, so you don't have to worry about that movement. And then also you need to know the actual technique that you're supposed to utilize for your chambers. Chambers are so important because that's how you're going to throw the kick properly. So if we're going to do a double side kick, know where your foot and where your knee have to go and where your pivot foot needs to go, and practice that chamber, kick, chamber every single time. All right? Really practice maintaining your chambers between each kick. If you're throwing a round kick, same thing. Foot goes to the back, knees pointed forward, and shin goes and hits forwards. Practice the chamber and proper technique. Now, if you notice, all of my weight is going onto the wall, and that's to make sure that my balance is in check, so I can literally just focus on that chamber back position. Without a chamber back, your leg is going to end up just flopping around or turning into a leg raise, and that's not how you're going to have a strong, crisp kick. So keep that in mind. First one, take balance out of the equation. Tip number 2 kind of goes with tip number 1. I kind of touched on it already, but it's making sure that you know your technique and you know it well, especially your chamber and your hip position. The worst thing that you could do is having 2 different kicks, so 2 double up kicks, and they are supposed to be different kicks, but when you're looking at it, it looks the same and you don't know what kick you're throwing. So knowing that foundation of your chamber and where everything needs to go, knowing that technique really well will really help you. So by doing tip number 1 and taking balance out of the equation, and tip number 2 is knowing your technique really well, you will know how to throw 2 crisp, different kicks in a row. So for example, if we're going from side, you're pulling back into round, pulling back into hook, etc. Now, if you looked at that, you would know which kick I'm throwing because I know my foundations and I know how to do it properly with proper technique. So keep that in mind, make sure. Take balance out of the equation, proper technique, and that's a really good start for you. Tip number 3, start slow. When you're trying to do a kick fast right off the bat, you're gonna lose your balance, you're not gonna know your technique, and everything's just gonna go out the door, out the window. So keep that in mind, start slow, build yourself up slowly, and then slowly increase the speed of your kicks once you're starting to feel a little bit stronger about the fundamentals of each kick. So what I mean by that is, again, tip number 1, take balance out. Tip number 2, know your technique. Tip number 3, do it slowly. In, pull, next chamber, pull, next chamber, pull, and then when you feel good about that, then you can start snapping. And from there is when you can also increase the speeds more and more and more until you have a full speed kick. Now, once you feel good about that, that's when you can come off of the wall and start utilizing your balance, the balance leg and your base foot for balance and starting to control your kick. But that's for another tutorial. And that's the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you did end up joining me and trying it out, leave me a message in the comments and let me know how it goes. If you know someone who's struggling with their double kicks or just kicks in general, share this video over to them to help them out. Now remember what I said at the beginning of the video, if I get over 200 likes, on this video, I will do a live seminar on kicking and flexibility for anyone to join. Now remember, I also do have a Patreon page specifically dedicated to flexibility and kicking drills, so how to increase the height of your kick, how to strengthen and snap your kicks, as well as achieving your flexibility goals. If you have questions about that, leave me a comment below, and I also have the link in the description box below. Now remember that I post a video on my YouTube every Friday, so I'll see you all next week. Bye. And you'll have two really crisp foundation, two really crisp, I don't know.